You just kind of
Yeah. So the
post it.
poll is like you get the polls for like a certain time for like you can set it however many days or whatever, and then the question is just like on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the question will stay on there, uh, as long as the episode's up.
Dope. So what are you gonna? Are you gonna say anything about it in the first podcast?
Yeah. I'll bring it up, and then now from now on, like it'll like
Look, what
be
kind of poll?
there, like not really like the comic section, but it'll be like the questionnaire section, and then they can
Okay,
like
dope.
respond that way and get
Dude, that's
more
cool.
what do you call it? More involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit more interaction and stuff.
Oh yeah. I also did like a second intro that's in the drive. Um, yeah, like the music.
Like the music.
Did you hear it?
I
Okay.
heard,
What do you
dude.
think?
I heard it. It is
Okay.
so dope. Bro. Oh, dude, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
it's it's
So I was
it's
thinking about
dope.
like because
It.
this one will be. I was thinking about using it for these two because the next one after
Mm-hmm.
Oron, that'll be like Oron will be episode 14. Yeah, and so that's kind of like
Word.
that's almost like a season, like a base number of episodes for like a season of anime.
Yeah,
So I was thinking about like doing that, like switching it
yeah, that'd be cool.
for and using it for these next ones.
That sounds
And I
dope.
might change the ending song too. I just gotta see
I
what I
like.
can come
Dude,
up with.
yeah, dude, I like this new one. It is. I saw it posted in there, and I listened to it. I was like, oh, this is like a new little
Yeah,
either
need,
intro or
need a little
outro
bop.
music. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Little,
something, you know.
something little. It's a, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a hit, fool. It's a straight up chart topping,
Say
rump
Taylor Swift better
shaking.
watch out, man.
I
Coming for her.
mean, yeah. You
I'm
about
about
to
to
take
start
her
dating
man.
Travis
You know what
Kelce.
I'm
I'm gonna
saying? You
be at
about to
those
take
games.
Travis Kelce. Like, hey, who's this Joe Angel? And why is he sweeping the nation?
uh,
That boy,
don't
they don't even
even
know what's about to hit him, bro.
hit him
Hit
with
him with
that.
that fat beat, Joe Angel. Hit him with that fat
Uh,
beat.
all
Bam,
right.
bam, 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 bam.
Let's see. Got my water. Got my notes.
Oh yeah, notes, water, got
Let's
it.
do
Let's
it.
do
In
this.
3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again on Anime Me Podcast. It's me, Joe Angel, with my co-host Sal, and we are here to bring you some more anime.
Oh yeah, I can't wait, Joe Angel.
Yeah. So
I'm
this
excited
one
about
is
this
like
one.
this one's a fairly new one, but it's also one of my favorite ones so far right now. Like as far I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I love like slice of life rom-com type animes. So like this I instantly fell in love with.
Okay, it's slice of life. We're talking like it's just kind of. I mean, how would you? It's like regular day stuff. Like it's like I don't know how to describe that. You know, like is it? How would you succinctly define what slice
I
of
would say
life
it's more like
is?
kind of like daily stuff, like not so like oh there's this enemy we gotta be there's like crazy stuff happening.
A tournament of power.
Aliens, monsters, stuff like this. Is just like there's this guy there or there's this girl, there's this person, whoever, and they're just going through life at a job, in school, whatever have you. Just a simple story about life, man.
Okay. So which one we're talking about?
So today we're going to talk about Komi Can't Communicate.
Oh, yeah, Joe Angel. Hey, I got a synopsis written down. You know what I do? I end up just copying the synopsis that's written down on the. Like, I'm not gonna come up with my own better than this. They're the ones that wrote the thing.
Yeah,
they
know what synopsis. It is. They could get. If they don't, then there's a problem.
They know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know who it is. Get some new writers. They don't know. They don't know how to summarize.
Go for it.
All right, let
Go
me
for it.
read this. Ready for it? At a high school full of unique characters, Tadano helps his shy and unsociable classmate Komi reach her goal of making friends with 100 people.
Boom. I don't think I even know 100
Joe
people.
Angel, that's bearing the lead. I don't either. You know what? My MySpace says I know 100
I
people.
know. You had
I
to
don't know any of them
drop that
folks.
down to an 8 count, man. That was hard. These kids don't know what it was to be on
Hey,
somebody's top 8. They didn't know that feeling.
they don't know, dude. They don't know. Hey, yeah, and y'all don't know about that MySpace life.
Always, you
You
gotta
got to
have
have
Tom on there,
Tom.
man.
You have Tom, and then everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what? You get pushed in and out of that top eight.
Oh yeah,
You
every
get
morning
pushed in and out of
it
that
was
top
just
eight.
a struggle. Like, am I gonna be on here? Am I still on here? What do I gotta do to stay on here?
If I still, hey, if y'all don't know what MySpace is, it's like let's see here. It's old school. It's the
Oh yeah.
Wikipedia version of TikTok.
You had a page. Your page had to be
It's
lit. You had to have a cool playlist. You had to have.
dude,
Oh man, you had to have a lot of stuff. I think
you
MySpace
were
was
doing
like
code.
an
Yeah, yeah,
intro for everybody to learn how to code. If you knew how to code, your MySpace was
yeah,
lit, man.
it was. Yeah, yeah. You go on to my MySpace was like all white and there was nothing going on. Then you go on someone else's MySpace
Oh
and there's
yeah.
like the background is moving and scrolling, and then you've got like wallpaper and colors. I'm like, that is how did they? It's just all open source. Tom don't care. He's like,
Tyler
hey,
was
get
just
out
like,
there and
"Hey,
do whatever you want. I'm
here's
like,
the reins. I'm letting y'all go. Go for it."
here's the keys. Here's the keys to Daddy's Ferrari. Wear it out. And that mug was wore
Oh
out.
man,
I
I
lost all
know.
my
I
stuff,
lost a
man.
lot of
I lost all
photos
my
and
MySpace.
videos. Like,
All right, Joe, we ain't even talking about that. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about possibly the greatest anime that's ever been written and drawn and produced of
oh
all
yeah,
time, bro. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not even gonna bet. I don't care if we're going out of order. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. This anime is awesome. It's like it's my
dude,
favorite, dude.
I love from the animation, from the story, like the music. Like, dude, I love this
Man,
anime so much.
top to bottom, dude. Like I'm talking T to B. It is, yeah, the art style, like the comedy, the just like the all the choices that were made. Like this thing is top notch. I don't have. I wrote a bunch of stuff down and none of it matters, bro, because it doesn't. It just, dude. The first thing I wrote down though, here, I don't know why I did. Oh wait, Regina George is flawless. Do you, do you know who Regina George is?
Yeah,
Like at the beginning of the show,
yeah,
Komi walks in. Nobody knows who she is, or no, she's like
yeah.
walking across the street and she like stops traffic. Birds are stopping, animals are
It's like, are
watching.
we
Everybody
watching
just
Snow
like
White?
sees
What's
this
going on?
like beautiful girl. Yeah. She's over communing with nature, and everybody's just like, "Whoa, this girl is who is she?" And everybody's just like taken by her. And oh man, like I don't know how to describe it. Like if you have to see the anime to know the nuances that they put in their transitions and like the way they exaggerate and things move in this anime. It's super fun, man. Like I didn't know slice of life
Oh yeah,
could be
man, this
this
is a
way.
fun one.
Okay, so give me the names. Give me the
So
names. How do
first
you
we have
say his name?
Komi Shoko, who's the girl walking down the street, stopping traffic, our Snow White character. Then we get
Mm-hmm.
our not
Okay.
so princely looking other protagonist,
Uh-huh.
Tadano
Uh-huh.
Hito Hito.
Tadano. Tadano. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing. I go back and listen to these podcasts so I can, I guess kind of critique or just kind of like, try to tighten some stuff up. And Joe Angel, dang it, man, I've been saying everything wrong. And you don't even correct me. Over here like well, I'm going like the mango. Oh, yeah, they wrote it down in the mango, and you're like, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, mango, mango. And I'm like, bro, come on, man.
My
Help me
brother,
out. Help me.
hey,
Help.
I'm
Just
trying to
I'm
let you learn,
pronouncing.
man. I'm letting
Help me,
you go,
brother.
man. I'm being Tom right now with my
Just
space. I'm just letting you
just
go.
yeah. Let me do my own coding, bro. Man, dude, I can't say enough about like how beautifully drawn everything is. Like the intro is like. this beautiful pencil drawing, like soft colors. I I did something I haven't done yet for any other anime is I let this one roll all the way through and I watched the beginning and a
Okay.
lot of the next one. Like I'm seriously, I was like, "Oh, snap, I'm gonna binge this whole thing right now."
That beginning shot,
Yeah,
dude.
I
Just that
the
beginning shot was just like, oh my
mhm.
gosh, this looks
It's
amazing.
it looks amazing. Like I'm telling you, like everything is really soft. I love the way they drew Komi. Like she has the tiniest
Oh,
she
yeah.
a pencil mark for her nose. Like a
She's
straight
almost like
up
Krillin,
pencil.
man. She
It's
almost
like a
has no
tiny
nose.
like a dot. Yeah, no nose, and she has the tiniest little her mouth is like just a
Yeah.
line. Like she's got a dot and a line for a mouth. But she's beautiful. Like there is something the way it's drawn too. Like I got sent this thing from a friend of mine where the have you seen this guy in I think he's like Netherlands or something? He's like the inspiration for like animators or like as considered like the most beautiful human
Yeah,
being
yeah.
or the
He's
most
like
beautiful boy.
the inspiration for like shoujo, like how shoujo came about.
Yeah. And so like they kind of base the look in the anime off of what this guy looks like because he has these kind of like he's just kind of I don't know the
Yeah.
proportions or something like that with his face they kind of like but like there's just something about the way they draw
Yeah.
her where she's got the biggest eyes and this like swoopy hair and
Yeah.
like, we're beautifying her and she's got the smallest nose and the smallest mouth ever. And but it's like, yeah, you go, okay, well, compared to everybody
Yeah.
else, she's just like gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. And he is, yeah, he's
He's
just
just
like
a
a
regular
goofy little
guy, man.
goofball. And we come in on him like the first little scene is like him going like, all right, he sets his goals out for the year at school. Of course, we're at school, Joe Angel. By the way, gotta be at school, gotta get that education on. And he's like, I just want to be. He sets the bar low. Like these are my goals this year. I want to be a
Yeah,
regular
because
human being. That's it. I
we
just
get
want to
some
be.
insight on him talking about his middle school and that experience not being so great. So he's trying to erase that past, man.
Yeah, man, I love that. There's narration. The narration is fun too. Like the way it kind of narrates as a like a book. It's not. It's nobody's. It's what do you call that? It's like a omniscient
Yeah,
narration or something like
I
that.
think so.
I don't know. I'm not a.
Yeah,
I'm not an English doctor, but I think you're just the narrator is narrating everybody in the show, kind of like giving us the
yeah.
play by play and some of the insights. And dude, I love that. Like it's just. Did you watch this in subbed or dubbed?
When I first watched this, I watched this sub
Is it
first, just because you know me.
okay?
I'm in the
Okay,
sub. I'm in the sub universe right now, so
you got
everything I watch is sub from the get go.
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. But Joe Angel dubbed, right? I mean, right? I mean, like, right, Joe
I will
Angel?
say for him dubbed
It's pretty
for Tadano's character, yeah, it was pretty. Komi's voice, I don't
okay.
know. Maybe I just gotta watch some more episodes than dubbed. But from this first one, from watching the subbed
Well,
first and going in dubbed, I couldn't get behind her voice. I just like I said,
uh,
maybe I got to give it a couple
okay,
more
dude.
just to like
le- le-
get more into it, get more used to it.
That's interesting because I
Yeah,
did. I mean, but she doesn't even
let's
hardly
see.
talk.
This is the easiest job this voice actor has.
it's,
Yeah,
it's just like noises. She just goes. She's so okay. Like we're bearing this whole thing. She is beautiful, but she's also like she struggles with like social anxiety. She can't converse with people. She has a hard time like talking to people because she like freezes or she just can't.
I thought was a pretty cool like input in this type of
Yeah,
like
right.
anime
It's
and the manga, like because basically that's all this, that's like one of the main points of this is that you have this person who's like super super awkward, super like not really antisocial, but
mm-hmm.
just like has that social anxiety to where they can't really talk to people or talk outwardly. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
this is real life, this is a slice of life.
It really is. I mean, I find that it's probably
Oh yeah.
extremely relatable. I remember like the knowing. I remember witness. I was from afar, kind of watching this girl. Kind of, she worked at like a
Yeah,
Subway, like she's making someone's sandwich, and she's a classic beauty. Behind the like more beautiful
a
than
Subway
like
review.
you would think, like
not
a
not to
Subway,
this
yeah, a
Subway,
Subway.
but you
I'm
you
not
know
gonna,
the client,
no
you know the
judgment.
people that work there.
No, I mean, she could be a supermodel. I was like, oh, she's just, I don't know what she's doing. She's doing this for TV or something, like it's just not. Well, every guy that was going through there was just like they couldn't help but
Yeah.
just like try to chat her up. They were trying to like, so you make sandwiches here often? I don't know what they were saying, but I'm just like, this girl can't like live a regular life. She can't have a regular job without guys just like constantly fawning over her
Yeah.
because all they see is a beautiful girl, not knowing that, she's more than just a beautiful girl. And I think that's what the show is trying to,
Trying to get
it's
across.
trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, it's trying to get across. But here's the problem, and this is it's not like nitpicky, but I just kind of I thought "Ooh, this is interesting because the show wants to be like, hey, this girl is just more, she's more than a beautiful girl. She's also got
Yeah.
like real world problems. She's not just, everybody just wants to like, everybody just is just waiting for her to do something and just like praise her for it. But come on, man, she's more than that. But then the anime like sexualizes her, I think. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like she's more than
Yeah.
just a sexual, being. But then, you have all this like she's
Yeah.
got a beautiful figure and she's wearing this tiny little skirt, and I'm like, how do I how do I how to
Yeah.
compartmentalize this in my mind? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh, this is like a feminist
Yeah.
work of art. Like they're like, you know, but then they're over sexualizing or
Yeah.
exploiting her. I don't, and it makes me laugh so much. But dude, this show, within 5 minutes, I wrote down, I looked at the time. Like once again, I'm telling you, like from the very beginning, I'm like, yes, yes, everything they're doing, I'm like, yes. And then I like hit my remote just to see where we are. I was 5 minutes in the show and I'd already written, I love
Already.
this show. This is my favorite show
5
of
minutes
all
in,
time.
I
It
already
was
got it.
5 minutes
I
in.
already got it.
Holy crap. If it can sustain this, if this is the first episode, Joey and Joel, this is gonna go down as the greatest
Oh man,
show
yeah, it's
of
gonna
all
be up there,
time.
man. All time.
Of
Like
all
I even
time.
like their first interaction where they first meet at the lockers. That whole scene, all the
Yes.
little like
Yes.
the little
Oh,
touches they did
I
with like
I
him,
laughed
like,
so
did I
hard.
say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And then like just like
Yeah,
yeah,
and the way she turns towards him and she like shudders, like, and the way like the lighting is so cool, so that it shudders, and like she moves almost
yeah, she like
like a
glides
scary
almost
movie,
like a
like a
ghost.
haunting.
It's like when you walk into
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween and you see that.
Dude,
Ooh.
yeah. Yeah. Dude, this is like one of the I mean, like I've laughed at other some of the animes, but dude, I was like rolling on some of this stuff. Like some of the things that they did, like the like almost it's, it's funny to say like physical comedy for an anime or for like any kind of animation, but that's what they kind of like invoke is some physical comedy. Like the way they draw some of these things,
Oh
the way
yeah,
their faces change. Like she goes from this like whenever she's serious, her face is like
yeah,
this beautiful like shape and she's got these big brown eyes. And then whenever she's like in a social awkward situation, her face
yeah. The little
changes to like these
cartoony
big
style,
buggy,
Looney Tunes style.
what you call
Yeah.
it? It's not
Kind
chibi,
of
right?
has
That's not
like
chibi,
essence
or
of
is
it.
this chibi?
I would say kind of think of like a comic strip.
Essence of it. Yeah, yeah, like a comic strip, like just big circle eyes, and like she's like you could tell, oh, she's
Yeah,
lost, or she's nervous, or she's scared, and it's so cool to see her go back and forth between like it's a good like cue in the show where like, oh, she is
yeah,
like now she's feeling it. She's in
yeah.
the middle of her
Like it's getting
social
to her.
awkwardness. Oh, dude, it's so good.
Oh
The
yeah,
show is so fast, by the way, like in a
yeah,
good
yeah.
way,
Like the
right?
pacing is good in this.
It's like when they make transitions, and whenever they like all the jokes, everything kind of lands really fast. Something happens and it's super absurd, and that happens really quickly, and you're just kind of like you're jumping. You don't ever feel like you know what I wrote. I didn't know. I don't think I wrote this down, but I just kind of like felt it. I was like, this is a slice of life, but the way it's like, I don't know, they're producing some sort of action in the way
Yeah.
the whole thing moves. Like this thing is like really fast. They also like kind of have this like dramatic like
Oh yeah,
shojin thing about it, right? Like
yeah,
or with you know what I'm saying? Kind of like I feel like they could get up.
yeah.
There might be a battle, but there's not a
Yeah,
battle. They're just
this is like
talking.
the way they
They're
set the
just
scenes and everything in every situation. Like even when like
yes.
when we go past that, we go into class. We go to like them. It's all the kids introducing themselves and stuff like that. One kid cracks a joke. Then
Mm-hmm.
you got Tadano who stands up and introduces up, and then like everybody
Mm-hmm.
just instantly like passes him over, like shuts him down. Like even the teachers are like, "All right,
Yeah.
next." Like doesn't even give him the time of day, and he's just like
Yeah.
he sits down and
I
just like
was
my life is
rolling.
over, and it's the first day.
Yeah, it's the first day. He had just set out like I'm gonna be. I think he even said something like, "Hey, my name is Tadano, and
Oh
I'm
no,
good at
he
social
says my name is
interactions," or something. That
Tadano
was
Hito
his line.
Hito, and I'm good at reading in the room. And then you hear somebody in the background who just goes, "No, you're
Yeah.
not."
No, you're not. I
Yeah.
was, and then he just sits down. He's like, he's shut down. Oh my gosh, that was so good. And then it comes to Komi and no wait, did they ask her to like
Oh
get
yeah,
up
yeah,
and say
yeah. The
something
teacher
and she
asks her
stands
to
up
like
and everybody's
introduce
just
herself.
like,
Like everybody's just waiting because when like before that
uh-huh.
she walks into the class
Like,
and
oh,
like everybody's just enamored with her. Like they're like
everybody
looking at her, they're
stops. Yeah,
taking
they just
pictures and videos of her, and just like,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey,
oh
there's the guy with the
yeah.
boomstick. He's got a boomstick. Like she's like
Oh
some
yeah,
sort of
dude, the
like in a
comedy in
movie
this
or
show
something.
is so great, man. I'm telling you.
It's so good, dude. Holy crap. It's so funny. So she stands up because she has to introduce herself, and there's an
Yeah,
awkward silence for like like what
yeah,
seems like to be like a minute or two. It is really long. Oh man, and I think even the teacher like just
yeah,
kind of like takes it back. He's like, you know what? You don't need to introduce
yeah. Well,
yourself.
because
You're
that whole
fine.
scene was like
Do whatever
she
you
starts
want.
taking steps because she's trying to talk but she can't, and so she like takes a couple steps and like
Yeah, yeah.
rushes the front of the room, and the teacher is just like in awe,
Uh-huh.
and she like just quickly writes her name on the
Yeah.
chalkboard and then goes and sits down, and everybody's just like amazed. They're like, oh, she doesn't need to talk. Like we're
Wow.
not worthy to
Wow.
hear her speak.
Holy crap, dude. Like everything this show does, man. Like I was just waiting for something to kind of like take me
Yeah,
out of it. Like even the music, like the little like interstitial music, like the little piano, all the little like what are those little like transitions? Just
yeah,
like
like the little
everything is just
compositional
like
stuff, the background
so
music, like it's so well placed.
yeah, yeah, yes. It's so well placed and it's not overbearing. Nothing's really like it really everything is man, dude, this thing is top notch. I'm like, I can't say enough about it. Okay, so like
Yeah,
they have a similarity. They have a thing where he wants to not I don't think he technically wants to be popular. He just wants to
yeah,
like
he wants to be normal,
be
have
a
like
regular kid.
friends, like
But
normal relationship with friends and stuff like that. Which, like I said, it seems like his middle school
yeah.
years weren't that great for him, so he's trying to like revamp himself. Like, hey, I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
better. I'm gonna be like more social and stuff like that. But it's just like nothing's working for him right
Uh-huh,
now
uh-huh.
because we get to like a scene where
He
it's time for gym, and so like all the kids get up.
mhm,
Oh no, wait, it's either gym or lunchtime. It happens to where all the kids get up, and you see
mhm.
this humongous 6 foot buff dude like rush over and knock him out almost unconscious because they're all running to
Oh yeah.
Komi to ask her to eat with them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she is just like, I mean, everywhere she goes, she's just like, man, she's got to be
Oh
the
yeah,
coolest girl in the world. But she hasn't said anything. Like, she hasn't given them any reason except for the fact that
yeah,
she is, like beautiful and graceful, like, yes. It's interesting. I was trying to like, I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I couldn't figure it out. Like, I like this anime is saying something, and I wanted to say I'm wanting it to be like, oh, this is some sort of like feminist kind of like why can't she just be
yeah.
she's just a girl, okay? She's a person, she's got her own problems and stuff like that, and let's not over sexualize these girls. But then they're
Putting her up on this like pedestal and stuff like that.
in the pedestal, yeah, yeah, and so like it's kind of funny like the way it's I wondered. It made me think, and then also like on top of that, they have a female narrator too that is
Yeah,
kind of walking us through it a little bit. I Okay, so I
yeah,
wanted my wife to watch this because she's our local, she just
Yeah,
knows about feminism more than I do
yeah,
because she teaches English and all that and stuff. And I'm just like, I wanted to see where this landed for her. Like, if she were to watch this, do you feel like there's some sort of
yeah,
empowerment being evoked here? Or is it still like, is there still
yeah,
exploitation that's happening here? I'm having a hard time because okay, so we end up finding out that them two have
yeah.
like common ground
Yeah, they have
a
like the
little bit.
both like yeah, as far as like what they want, which is to just be normal. Like that's their common ground. And we even get to like the point of where
Hmm.
he like comes to you and he's like, "Oh crap, I'm late for gym." And like cuz he like gets to and you hear her like
Hmm.
talking and like just like I just want to
Oh
like
yeah, she
be
says
able to
that.
talk to people or she's like even talking to her she's talking to herself and like why can't I talk to people? Like why is it so hard for me to talk to somebody
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. He.
she says meow and that's like he gets up and he's just like looks at her and he's like
Oh,
did I hear her say meow?
what
They're just like staring at each
the?
other and he's just like acting like he didn't hear nothing and then we get to it
Uh-huh,
to
uh-huh.
where basically like she kind of gets up and like almost tries to run out the room and he's just like calls her out. He's like, hey, do you have a problem talking to people? And she stops and then he's
Uh-huh,
just
uh-huh.
like kind of basically like almost reading her situation like are you do you have a hard time like talking to people? Do you have like social anxiety to where you can't really talk? That's why you haven't been
Hmm.
talking, or that's why you haven't said anything. And so like we get to it, and he's all like, "Is there a way?" Like trying to figure out a way for her to communicate. And he's all like, "Well, why don't we use this chalkboard?"
Yeah,
And like she like starts writing everything down on the
yeah,
chalkboard, like her whole like this is what I want. This is I want to talk to people. I want to have friends, but I
yeah.
can't do it. There's like I get super awkward and super like anxiety just from like trying to
She has
talk
a
to
stutter
people.
when or something. Yeah, it's interesting. It feels like the first time that she's actually been seen, and I think she even puts it up on the board. She's like writing. She goes, how'd you know that I have a problem talking to people? And he's like, he's actually seen her because they were
Yeah,
at the locker earlier having this kind of awkward
yeah.
conversation, and he kind of picked up on it like, "Wait, what's going on here? Like, why didn't she say anything?" And then again he hears her again, and she's like, I just want to be able to like, and so
Her
he's
for
actually
her.
seeing
Yeah,
her beyond just her beauty. Yeah, yeah, and they have this kind of like meet cute a little bit where they're just like
yeah.
they have this conversation on the board,
Oh
just
yeah,
writing
and
things
that whole
down,
scene too, like the way they animated that
kind of
whole scene, like
sharing it.
while he's like explaining like her situation to her, like I loved how they
Hmm.
put the earlier scenes in the background. Like they themselves are like kind of like colored like a grayscale, but like all the earlier scenes are like on the
Yes,
windows and stuff in colorized, like going through that whole situation. I love
dude,
how they did that.
this is beautiful. Like it is like, I mean, you could take out any of these scenes and they could be like, you could have like a little poster and put it up on
Oh
your
yeah,
wall with whatever the scene is, like directly out of this. Every little like all the little transitions, all the little backgrounds, I mean, they didn't cut any corners with this. I say this a lot on other animes, but this one takes the cake on it, man. I mean, like everything is beautiful. By the way,
go for
Joe Angel, bro. Dude, man, okay. You didn't, I don't know if I should bring this up, but I'm gonna bring it up anyways, and you can cut it out. But when they're writing down with this chalk, and she's writing down with this chalk, and he's writing down, don't tell me you didn't realize what that chalk looked like in his hand. Go back and look. I know what that chalk looked like, dude. They're trying to be sneaky. These anime, right?
it's the whole
Don't tell
Disney
me,
conspiracy where
dude.
they're hiding
You,
stuff, doc.
no, it's real, bro. It's real. He's about to put the chalk to
Wait
the
a
board, and I
minute.
go, wait a second, and I rewound it. I went back 10 seconds. I was like, no, dude,
Oh,
that is what I think it is. That- That's I'm looking it up. It is real. I'm telling you, like I'm like, bro. I was gonna
I
ask
wasn't
you,
paying
did you see
attention to
it?
that part.
Are you?
I'm about to
You
go
didn't see
back
it?
and watch it.
Oh, go, go, dude, go back to that scene, and they're like having a conversation. He's writing, you look, and you just slow down right before he starts to
Drop
write. And
that
I'm
down
like,
to drop
yo,
down
dude, that
playback speed
chalk
on
does not.
that.
You, I'm telling you, it is
At his
this is
finest.
Disney at its finest, bro.
Oh,
Oh man, I wrote it down. I wrote it down right here. I'm telling you. It's funny though, because I'm just like, because yeah, once again, this whole juxtapositioning of like, is this, they're trying to say something, but then also they're, this is like the joke. It's the joke is like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like the perfect woman because she like is beautiful, but she doesn't say anything. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that sounds sexist, right? Like I'm like they're playing with this whole like sexism and like feminism at the same time, and I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around this. Like, is this okay or not okay? Oh,
Yeah.
but it's so
Yeah, the
funny
comedy
though.
just gets better like as it goes on through the show.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
I know because I let the next episode start because I was like, I love the first episode. And oh, by the way, I wrote down there's 8 minutes of
Yeah.
credits. I was like, I saw how long it was, and the show was over, and I was about to turn it off after the song. Which, dude, that outro song
Oh
was
yeah. The
crazy
outro and
good.
intro songs are so good on this one.
That outro is just like piano and then someone singing over the top of it, but not the way you would expect somebody to sing
Yeah.
over the top of just piano. Like even that was just like, whoa, where did you get this song from? And how did you come up with this? It is so
Oh yeah,
good.
and like even the intro, like the outro credits, like I love the little like kind of like skits they did at
Hmm.
the end too. Where it's just like they just had little like bits here and
Yeah.
there. Just
Yeah.
like
That
when
was,
I first watched it, I was all like, "Oh, there's the next episode already to start," and then finally like went to the last
yeah.
scene where they're
Yeah.
like
It
they're playing with the fact that they're in a
it
show
did that like
and
two or
like
three times, by
they
the
have
way.
her like standing there and they're all like, "Hey, wait, Komi, the sign's upside down." Like they instruct her on what to do, and then
Yeah.
it goes to the next show.
Yes.
And the next episode, I'm like, "Oh wait, that was all the credit."
Yeah, it did it like
Yeah,
twice. I think there was a little skit here, then there was another little clip here. I didn't even think they didn't really go. One of them wasn't the some of
yeah,
these animes always like in the next episode, watch
no,
this. It didn't have any of that. It was
yeah.
just a
It's like
bunch
a
of
little
little
extra
clips
stuff
of
like
like
here
just
and there.
stuff
Like,
like
hey, here's a little
background, like
snack.
yeah,
Here's a little dessert for you.
yeah, yeah.
It's the
Here's
after
a little
dinner
something
meal.
else. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and by the way, so he comes to his conclusion, like, I'm going to help Comey
Yeah.
make friends. And he's like, this is the first time oh, well, maybe you can correct me. If this is the first time I feel like the title of the show ends up in the anime. Does that happen? It didn't. I don't know if we've watched an anime and that's kind of like,
I mean, besides like
like they never
yeah,
said the word
Bleach has never
bleach.
got responded. Like besides like it being named after characters like
No.
Naruto or like Dragon Ball, those are stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in the show that
yeah,
obviously they're gonna say. But there's
yeah.
like
But
some
this
anime,
the
that have these ridiculously titles. It's just like what?
Yeah, 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 and that's what they do in this one. He's like coming, he's like, she can't, oh man, she can't, what is
Yeah,
it? She's not good at like talking. That doesn't sound good. What is it? And he
Komi
goes,
can't
wait a second,
communicate. Yeah,
Comey can't communicate. I was
title
like,
drop.
oh, they said the title in the show. Yeah, they title dropped us, dude. I was like, man, this show they can't do anything wrong. They can't do anything
They
wrong.
can't. Oh man, I love this so much, man.
It was perfect show. It was a perfect show, man. Honestly, you don't even have to stay to the end for me to find out like what my opinion about it
We can
is.
skip
We
that
can
whole
we could
part.
skip that
You heard
part.
in the first
We,
5 minutes of this. You
we can
already
skip the.
know what you're
That's right.
the
We
guac
didn't have to get
talk.
to guac talk. Okay, my guacamole talkies. We don't get to guac talk and tell you
It's
how I felt about
already
it.
out
It's already out there. They put cherry blossoms. The kid that sits behind Tadano
there.
is
Yeah.
from Naruto,
Oh, dude, I love that
Naruto.
whole scene too earlier where
Like,
he's like,
oh my gosh.
they're sitting next because they sit next to each other in class. Like we find out in the beginning, he's like, "Oh snap, I'm sitting
Yeah.
next to her," and she drops her eraser, and he goes like,
Uh-huh.
"Here's my chance to kind of like try and do stuff again." He picks up
Yeah,
the
introduce
eraser,
myself.
and then he's about to give it back to her, and then you just see a protractor just fly and stick it to the ground. It is the Naruto kid behind him. It's just like, what's going on? He's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
He's like, I just got to do it real quick. And he just like real quickly puts it on her desk and says nothing, and he acts like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And he goes, "Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm a target now. Like everybody knows."
Oh yeah, but I love
Oh
this one.
my
Like I said,
gosh,
this one
man.
is a fairly new anime, and so
It's I
going
mean,
into the
give me some
facts. So
facts
like I
about this
said,
thing. Like who and where.
like we said, like the way this is, so it is a slice of life. It is a rom com. It is a coming of age, genre wise, but demographic wise, this is actually a shonen. it's considered a shonen and not a shoujo demographically. Yeah, yeah, and this
Okay. Well, so I get it a little bit. I get a little. I mean,
yeah.
she doesn't have any lines, man. Doesn't hardly say anything. They're like, keep it down. I don't know if this show would pass the Bechdel test, but
It's to be determined.
that's to be
But
debated.
yeah,
I don't
so
know.
like I said, all of this starts from manga, and the manga, which is all originally created by Tomohito Oda, and this actually started out
Wait, hold on. Have we heard this name before?
a different Oda made. Yeah, it was a different Oda.
Okay.
It's not the same one.
Oh,
But
it's a different Oda. Okay,
so
okay.
this actually started out as a one shot that was published in Shogakukan's Weekly Shonen Sunday. And so basically what a one shot
Mm-hmm.
is like a lot of like mangas and stuff, before they get serialized, sometimes they'll start out
Mm-hmm.
as a one shot, which a one shot is basically is just like either one chapter or just like a short story. Think of it kind of like a pilot. It's like their pilot episode. And so usually they're sometimes done in
Okay.
like contests and stuff. Like you have manga artists that will enter these contests with their one shot, and if they win, more than likely they'll get picked up by the magazine and get serialized. And so this began serialization in September of 2015. Oh no, it got so the one shot got published in
Uh-huh.
September of 2015, and then it actually did so well that
Uh-huh.
it actually began its whole serialization in May of 2016. And the manga is still going, by the way. So this is still an ongoing story. Which,
Wow.
by the way, can I make a plug real quick?
Plug it. Plug
Go
it.
and download the Viz manga app, and that is Viz manga app. You can actually read this manga
Mm-hmm.
on there. They have a subscription. It's pretty cheap. I got it. I read my manga on it. It also has they also have a bunch of other different mangas, including Zom 100. If you haven't watched, if you remember our Zom 100 episode that we did during spooky season, they have that manga on
So
there too.
good.
So solid. If you want to get into reading manga, go download Viz manga. Like I said, the subscription is pretty cheap. It's a relatively good price, and you can read all the manga you want and start getting into the manga side of it.
I mean, this one's got
Pretty
me
dang
pretty
close. If
dang
you like reading,
close.
if you're thinking about reading, go for it. This has pictures.
Oh, I
You know
need
all the
that. I
pictures.
need that. You,
But yeah, so the anime came out, and so it came out, aired in Japan in October of 2021. That's when the first season came out. So it ran from October to December of the same year, and then when it got picked up and
hmm
dubbed, it got released in the US in October of 2021 and ran all the way to January of 2022 on Netflix, because I think this is exclusively
hmm
on Netflix.
I was wondering, yeah, because I mean, I think I first tried to look for it on Apple TV, and Apple TV didn't even
Yeah,
try to
it's
like
like what?
give me another search for it. And then I tried on Hulu, and Hulu didn't know what the heck I was talking about. And then finally, I just went to or I think I Googled it, and I was like, "Oh, it says it's on Netflix." And then I go to
Yeah,
Netflix, and Netflix always puts that little tag on there, like, "Oh, this is
yeah.
Netflix. It's like a Netflix original." And I was like, "Huh." It's another one of those because I feel like we watched one
Yeah,
of,
yeah. I think IGN's like exclusively on Netflix.
and I was expecting that kind of level, and I don't know who I was like, is Netflix throwing money at this because they
Yeah.
got the best animators, they got the best musicians, they got the best writers, they got everything they could have to throw
Oh yeah.
at this show to make
Tell
it the
you.
best
This
ever.
is so good. And so the OP, the opening song, is called Cinderella, and that is by Cider.
hmm
And
Good.
so for this one, for the ending song, so you got two of them. You got one for episode one,
hmm
and then you got another one starting in episode two that goes all the way to episode 12. So this one kind of switches out songs, but the first one we hear in the first
Uh,
episode is called Sympathy, and that is by Kitri, who also
uh-huh.
has the other song, Hikare Inochi, which will be the ending song for episode 2 to episode 12. So it's the same artist for the ending, but two
Okay.
different songs.
Interesting. Yeah, well, so then what about this? I mean, I'm gonna have to look up this
Yeah,
last song or the first song though, that little
yeah, that one's called
piano song,
Sympathy.
the way they kind of I still can't describe it. It was just like it was so rhythmic that I had to like stop for a second and go, "Oh, there's like nothing else. There's no like guitar, no bass, there's no drums, but the way the way the song is being sang and the way the piano, the rhythm of it, I'm like, man, there's so much. this thing is so dynamic for just having,
Yeah, yeah,
vocals and a
it's really
piano.
good. I loved it,
It's
man.
awesome the way they
Oh yeah, like I said,
really
this is
good.
pretty good. Loved everything about it from the story, from where the story's gone right now. And like I said, I'm caught up to the manga right now, so I'm having to wait weekly to watch it to
Mm-hmm.
like read the new chapters. And as far as like the anime season three,
Is
it still hasn't been announced yet, but I'm relatively certain it's coming out, man. Like this is actually won they won the Crunchyroll anime award for best comedy of 2022. And so it's like real like set.
okay,
Oh yeah,
so
there's gonna be a season three. We just gotta wait for it.
so this show is well received and super popular then.
Dude, it's so amazing.
It's got 2 seasons because I was looking at it and I was like 25
Yeah,
episodes.
it's in total. I want to say it's 33. I think 33 episodes in total. But the first season's 20. The second season's 13.
Okay, I gotta go back and look at it. I'm wondering if Netflix
It
has
should
all
have
of
all
it.
of it.
It,
Yeah,
it does, doesn't it? Did you watch it?
yeah. I
Because
watched
you watched it
it.
all on
Yeah, I
Netflix.
watched it all.
Dude, because after this show, I mean, after
Gonna
we're
go
done
back.
recording here, I am gonna go jump
Yeah,
on
I'll
that
tell
bad
you,
boy.
like
I'm
reading the manga,
binging
it just
all
gets
of
better, man.
it.
Like, oh, I'm so in love with it. Yeah, I'm so like, I'm
Really?
waiting. I'm like
S-
excited
I
for the
mean,
rest of it to be animated. Like, it's so good.
it is so like it's so lean. Like when I think of a show where I'm like, they could cut that out. You don't need that, or that's a lot of fluff, or that's a long pause for no reason. Like a lot of stuff where you just kind of like, don't need it, don't need it, don't need it. Dude, this thing is like everything was a home run. Like all the little everything about this show was just. And yeah, it makes sense that they would
Yeah,
win something. I was just wondering, like, how come I've never heard of this show? But I'm like, I guess if I don't watch anime, then I wouldn't know. But if you did, though, like, I guess I wonder. I'm gonna ask some
yeah.
people if they've ever heard of this show because I have some other friends that like
To
anime, and
watch
I'm
it.
wondering if
Yeah,
they've
they'll
ever
like
if I say
connect with them.
this
Like,
show
oh
to
yeah,
them.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Or yeah. Well, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
also ask them if they watched the live action one too.
Whoa, Joey, I was just thinking about that. I was just like, I don't know. Like, I wonder, yeah, is it, where is
I
this?
had to
Have you
search for
seen it? And
this,
does it work?
man. Like I had to like go through like my old anime sites to like find this live action because it came out. So they made eight
Uh-huh.
episodes and it came out in September of
Uh-huh.
2021 and all the way to November of 2021. So pretty short, but I like was able to find it the first episode and I watched it and I will say it didn't hit the same.
I don't
I
think it
will
would
say it didn't
translate.
hit the same as the anime did. I don't know if it was just because like
I was
it
thinking that's,
was like came out the same time as it, and there was just
yeah.
like I don't know, it just didn't hit the same for it as me, man.
I can imagine in my mind, like,
Yeah,
because we talk about these other shows, and I just think about like, yeah, that could probably be live action. Like all I'm thinking of usually is like,
yeah,
do they have the production value to do some of this like wild stuff with the camera and with all the effects that they would take to generate this?
yeah,
This doesn't have that problem. The problem it has is like you can't get her. You're not going to get her face to look two different
yeah.
ways whenever she's, what I'm saying? Like you need that like little,
Man, tell you, it
yeah, you can't pull off the cartoon face in his
like I said, I
face.
found the first episode and I watched it, and it was just like it didn't hit the same.
I mean, do they try?
They try to get like the situations, the awkwardness, like the feel of it, but like what the key
Yeah.
things that made this anime good, it just didn't have in the live action for me.
I would just think that it would get lost in translation where you just can't get
Yeah,
those little nuances that they're able to produce with like, with cartooniness
yeah,
of it because it has to have that cartooniness and I don't know if you can get that cartooniness in a live action.
yeah. It just I think it fell in that pitfall of trying to like make something live action that did really good animated because of what they're able to do in like animation, like the exaggerations, the little cuts here and
Yeah.
there. It's hard to translate that into a
Mm-hmm.
live action, and I think they just kind of fell into that pitfall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh man. So yeah, now that you told me, as I'm watching this show, I was thinking, oh, this is another, slice of life shoujo. But then I'm like watching, I was like, is this because it seems like it's geared towards boys, the way like she's drawn, we have these like a lot of
Yeah.
leg shots, I'm starting to find out that that's a thing in anime where like, you know, they're always looking, they always have the most provocative
Yeah.
camera angles, you know. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think a lady, I don't think this is geared
Yeah,
towards
like I said, this
girls.
one,
Like,
like even though it's a slice of life kind of rom com, it is a shonen type show.
yeah, yeah, you can
Yeah.
feel it. You can feel it.
All right, man. Well, man, we went pretty long on that.
I know, and it didn't feel like it, and everybody's gonna look at it how
You just get into it so much, and it's just like, what?
I cannot. I'm gonna go ahead and you don't even have to ask me, Joe Angel. You don't even have to ask me. At a one out of, let's
How
see
many
here.
meows are you gonna give us, man?
I'm a one out of 100 meows, bro. I'm
1,000
a
meows.
thousand meows. I'm gonna be out in your alley. You're gonna hear me in the alley singing the praises of this show. You're gonna have to throw a Coke can at me
You
to
get
get
the
me to
spray bottle,
shut
spray
up.
them down.
I'm gonna tell everybody about this freaking show. Like, hey, you gotta watch this with me and tell me, am I crazy to think that this is awesome? Would anybody like this? Maybe so. I mean, I'm gonna try it on everybody. I'm just like, hey
Yeah,
man, watch the
just
show with
watch it.
me.
Just have a
Tell me
watch
what
party,
you
man.
think. A watch party with everybody. I'm gonna jump
We'll figure
online,
it out.
guys. We'll figure it out. We'll go live one day.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. Well, we are at the end of our episode, guys. Thank you for joining us. Once again, for just tuning in, hanging with us, listening to us talk about this awesome anime and all the other animes we watch. As always, go follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Anime Me Pod, where we post clips and stuff like that. And you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud, whatever you like to choose, wherever your poison is, just hit those sites up. And also you can answer, we have questions and stuff that we'll attach to these podcasts on Spotify. You can answer polls and stuff like that. Let us know what you think, to let us know what situations you would be. Let us know, how socially awkward you are, or if you had any kind of issues with these.
So relatable.
Once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.